A lot of fun doing this today. We are going to be breaking down the track, No Need. Dope track, you know what I mean? I'm getting a lot of feedback. I'm getting a lot of people saying that they feel like it's a real old school yet new school feel to it. You know what I'm saying? It's a posse cut. A lot of MCs is going, you know what I mean, ball for ball and doing what they do. But at the same time, there's no hook on it. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to talk about that. We're going to break down the whole idea behind No Need. We're going to break down the whole idea behind the reason why, you know, the bars that we wrote, the way our verses came, the way they came, you know what I mean? And it's going to be fun. It's going to be definitely a lot of fun.
Yeah. SoundMinds. It was like the first day we had like 34 plays. The second day we had like, I don't know, 80 plays. Third day we had like 120, you know what I mean? So now it's starting to like, y'all starting to make us feel like we're going somewhere with this.
You know what I'm saying? And the great words of Long D, temperatures rising. You know what I mean? So,
and it's not surprising.
It's on iTunes, it's on Spotify, it's on Apple Music, it's on YouTube. The price is set at only $1.69, so that's really like less than a bag of chips, I keep saying. But it's more so, it's not necessarily, we're not trying to get rich off of this. That is the cream on top is to get paid off of it. The truth of the matter is, what you got is a unit, SoundMinds unit that's been rocking over 20 years, man. And truth of the matter is, we've always been about empowering. We always been about preserving the hip hop and preserving the culture itself. You know what I mean? So that's what we're really about. So if you about that and you love that, then please, man, support. You know what I'm saying? Share it to your friends, let them know. Listen to the track. Run them plays up. You know what I'm saying? Let it be known what the track's about once you hear it, if you haven't heard it. And we about to talk about it. You want to just go into it?
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you the first thing that hits my mind about this recording. Matter of fact, somebody tagged Zaquan the Beat Abbott too. But the first thing that comes to my mind is when I realized in the all-knowing Sun Tsunami verse, he was breaking down, you know what I mean, like we coming together like the Avengers, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But then at first I was like, okay, he mentioned a couple names. And then I started listening back, and I'm like, damn near every time I listen back, I hear another name that I didn't hear the first time. Like at first I was like, you know what I mean? Like I was like, okay, Stark, okay, you talking about Tony Stark, you talking about Iron Man, and then you talking about like I Bring the Thunder. I'm like, okay, you talking about Thor. But then he was like it was one part where he was like, Wanda. And I'm like, yo, even when he said Wanda, I didn't realize that at first, and then when I listened back, I'm like, yo, you talking about what? Like, really? Like, you talking about the Wasp? You talking about... So that's the first thing. Like, I'm not talking about the actual bars at this point. At this point, I'm just talking about, like, my experience listening to it and how we each had a crazy different angle and style. And that was the thing on mine. When I was listening to Tsunami Joint, at first it was like, this is just mad lyrical kill, like, you know what I mean? Style, boom, 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 boom. And I was like, oh no, you breaking out a whole superhero metaphor. And even the words that I thought wasn't part of the metaphor, when I listened back, I was like, yo, that was a superhero too. So that was the first thing that stood out to me on the track. What about y'all?
The origin of No Need. Funny story. The whole thought honestly came in while I was personal, but I was sitting in the bathroom and the idea of a track, a posse cut, right? We haven't heard a dope posse cut in a long time, man. Hip hop hasn't been blessed in a minute, you know what I'm saying? So, and then the truth of the matter is, a lot of what catches people is the hook, you know what I'm saying? So the hook itself, we start the track off with the hook. No need for a hook when you spit this ill. Sound the alarm, this is not a drill, mind your arms. How arms get built, sound minds put the world on tilt. So the whole usage of the word sound and mind, you know, sound the alarms, this is not a drill, mind your arms, right? And then at the end, it's sound minds put the world on tilt. And it was just kind of like, I know how strong my team is, and I know how strong my family is, man, from A to Z, you know what I'm saying? So from producing to rhyming to spitting to spoken word to everything singing, you know what I mean? Like I know our team is strong, man. So it's just kind of like, yo, we don't need a hook, you know what I mean? But at the same time, being a little bit of a, you know, asinine a little bit and just saying, nah, no need for a hook, but let's spit a hook, you know what I mean? So the first verse, go to self, you know what I mean? There was some things on there that you said, self, that was crazy. Damn, sound, yeah. Right, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think a lot of people would hear this and talk like, yo, you broke down the word sound and mind so vividly, you know what I mean? So illustriously, right. You know what I mean? So if you could, man, speak on it, man, like speak on the bars and just speak on the reason behind it.
All right, so like I'm glad you broke down the no hook part too, because on part of it, I was like, we don't have a joint, we don't have Mad About People on it, like every time you have a chorus and you got mad people on the song might end up 10 minutes. So that was another thing where I was like, okay, that's ill because like without having a hook, we could still fit everybody on. And it wasn't. It's like a 3-4 minute track at most. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, but it was like, this is our first official. Even though we've been doing mad classic moment shows, everything podcast for years, this is our first actual song. So in my mind, I was like,
as a unit,
right. Like you gotta have a definition. Like when you start a book, you gotta understand the terms. When you start studying something, you gotta understand the terms. So I was like, okay, this is SoundMinds. We gotta start the definition of the terms first and foremost. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, that just hit me automatically. Like SoundMinds means this. This is a SoundMinds track. Like this ain't just like some nice dudes on the track. Like this is SoundMinds. You know what I'm saying? Like officially, from the first bar you hear, sound means, you know what I mean? Sound mean complete, sound mean correct. And it's funny too because in the SoundMinds logo, there's something you could go. Like if you look at our logo and everything, you'll notice the sound is like the part that looks like the brain, and the mind is the part that looks like the music. And a lot of people will say like, oh, sound is the music, and mind.
And not to cut you off, the mind also plays like the live wire of life. You know what I'm saying? So it has that feel too.
Sound really for us more so. Sound, we're saying like we take this serious. That's what, complete. Like we've been doing this for a long time. That's why the sound is the brain part, because we're saying like it's a completion, it's a balance of the hemisphere. It's the perfect like what needs to be done in this moment. Like there's no real thing such as perfection per se, but you strive to do the perfection of each moment. You know what I mean? Like we don't try to disrespect our culture. We try to like come to respect in the moment. So that's where it came from, sounding complete. And then the mind is the music, because mind like we're saying, mind is like they measure our energy and the vibrations and brain waves. So a lot of people get it twisted. Like they think the sound is the waves and the mind is the brain. And you know what I mean? So I have to start out sound mean complete, sound mean correct. Like this ain't just music, buddy. What y'all talking about? Nah.
I've been telling people we live this culture, yo. It's not like we just jumped in, we want to do some rippity rap shit and then like, you know, oh, they rhyme. Nah, we live the culture, you know what I mean? We embody it. And that's the one thing about SoundMinds is like we've always embodied what hip hop is about, you know what I mean? In every sense, it's like like I said, whether it be singing, whether it be DJing, whether it be production, whether it be writing, whether it be writing, you know what I mean? We've been doing this from day one, you know what I mean? Like the whole breakdown of my name, Academics, was literally the amalgam of hip hop itself. So it's like I'm all the elements in one. So so when you come together, you say we SoundMinds.
Before I heard of other people, Academics, brands, and everything, so let me just say that too. Like that name was mad dope. You know what I'm saying?
A combination of diverse elements mixed, put it together. You know what I mean? And that's why I always said when we said we were SoundMinds, we were sound at mind. You know what I mean? We were complete up here. You know what I mean? We were already Voltron. We didn't have to be lions at any point. We were always Voltron. You know what I mean? We never fell apart and went. I mean, we did our own separate things, but we were always Voltron. We don't gotta say, yo, it's time to form. We already formed.
That's the dope thing about this track too. Like, you know, a lot of people. Shout out to if you look at the No Need playlist and stuff. Like if you go to Tidal, you go to Spotify. I don't think it's on Napster yet, but when it gets up on Napster, it'll be up there. But like if you go to the playlist, you see we got tracks with Lower Velocity and like Norm on there. We got tracks with Yazid on there. We got tracks with like it's a track with Rest in Peace PH. You know what I mean? Like we got a lot of the people in the circle that we rock with. People that have been on our podcast. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's we doing this podcast and you always see like 2 or 3 of us, but it's a whole frequency, and that's what I love about this too. SoundMinds. It's like if I'm not behaving in a certain way, it's not about a title to me. It's SoundMinds. It's about like how I'm behaving. You know what I mean? So certainly, if I get on a track with this caliber, I gotta come through. You know what I mean? And that's another reason why I was like sound mean complete, sound mean correct, sound mean the frequency and amplitude. We project. We meaning us. See, that's like. You mind if I go into my verse a little?
Come on, please, brother. But what I do want to say before you do, kind of building on what Suffice is saying and what AK is saying as well is the thought process behind the whole Voltron mentality is the fact that, honestly speaking, right, and I put this on everything I love, we never spoke about none of our verses. Nobody said, yo, we should talk about this, you should talk about that. We put 5 SoundMinds MCs, 5 family members, and everybody just went off on their own. You know what I mean? And the fact that the 5 of us, without hearing our verses, so there was no way for any of us to sit there and be like, yo, being that you spoke about this, let me build on this, let me do that. No. Everybody's sword game is so strong. Just came together. You know what I mean? Everybody addressed it so differently, addressed the beat so differently, and just went off on their own. But it all sounds, the culmination of it all is such a powerful thing to see how everybody addressed it, but all still know it still fits. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, guys,
it's like a lot of thought and practice in it, but like with any art, once it comes down to the moment and that flow state, you can't overthink it. So you gotta rely on the thinking you've been doing in between the sessions. So by the time I got to the session, like you would think I would just say, okay, SoundMinds means this, or sound means this, minds means this. But if you notice how I broke it down, it goes sound mean complete, sound mean correct, blah blah blah. I'm talking about sound, and then before I talk about mind, I already said mine. So that's something I want listeners to listen to. Like before I say mind means this, I already said mine, because sound mean complete, sound mean correct, sound mean the frequency and the amplitude we project. Instead of going to minds, I said we meaning us. So now I'm breaking down we. This will be specific. Like it's a unit. We meaning us. Us be my peeps. Like you know, just in case you understand. Like I'm not saying like us, this group, that group. I'm saying like this is my people. It's like we meaning us. Us be my peeps. Peeps meaning mine. Yeah. That's what I love. We, you know what I mean? Like my people. So before I get to mine, like they thought I'm already at mine, talking about like this is a group, this is a collective, these is my people. Like these are my brothers. They're not my friends. These are my brothers. Like this is my people. You know what I'm saying? So then it was like us. We mean us. Us be my peeps. Peeps mean mine. Then I said mine mean a dig for the treasure. Seek you will find. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm getting this about for real. Like mine for the treasure in your mind. And that's really what we challenging MCs to do. Like someone shout out to EO Dub. Like I feel like the way we battling isn't like destroying people, dissing brothers, as much as it's more like we battling to bring out the best in you. Like yo, dig for that treasure. When you an MC and you get on the mic, dig for that treasure. Don't go to surface level. Like this is MCing. So mine mean a dig for that treasure. Seek you'll find. you got it. So if we saying your lyrics is whack, or if somebody else saying your lyrics is whack compared to us, it's just meaning you're not digging for that treasure. That's basically what I'm saying. Like, that's our method. It's not dissing people what they had. It's dissing people when you don't appreciate. We just telling people like appreciate what you have, bring it to the surface, and check us and challenge us to do the same. You know what I mean? Seek, you'll find. Mine's the dip for the treasure. Seek, you'll find. Mine is the deep. Deep is the depth. Mine is the third eye. What you see is what you get. What? That's what they call that the sixth sense. Mine, the third eye.
Tom, the inner mind's eye.
Going down poets, projected out of eternity into time and space. You know? What you see is what you get. Okay, I said from the virtual to the physical to the visceral. So like you gotta go back to the SoundMinds podcast and some things like when Pup gets on, we'll probably talk more about it. But like we getting into our virtual reality. Shout out to Focus too, he's been on there for a minute. But like with the Oculus and the virtual reality, that's another place a lot of people exploring media and performing and music and NFTs. You know what I mean? So I'm saying from the virtual to the physical. Like for us, we always feel like we came up in battling on the block, on the corners, and live shows in different neighborhoods and our neighborhood, other people. So it's like for us, that's something where we always have stripes. Like you got it. Maybe you don't have to anymore, but we feel like that's part of our journey. Like physically seeing you live, you know what I mean? It's not about being out there
That's
live.
the culture.
That's the culture.
Yeah.
Like that's the
That's the
cycle.
culture.
Like who's going next? Who's in the cycle spitting? So it's like from the virtual to the physical to the visceral. But like visceral just means for people that don't know, visceral means like when you really get a feeling. Like if you ever just been bored or you've been somewhere but you don't really feel like it, or you like spaced out. But when it's visceral, you feel it. You know what I mean? It's like when you in a cycle and somebody just says an ill line and everybody like, ooh, like you're not thinking of Instagram or like something else. Like you thinking of like you feel in the moment. So that's why I said from the virtual to the physical to the visceral. Everything is real from external to the inner too. And that's really what we're saying too. Like when you're in a negative situation, like what you create is real too. If you come up with a positive way to see what you're going through, that's real automatically. Like nobody could tell you that your worldview is fake. You know what I'm saying? And coming from where we from, a lot of us from the LES, like that's just like a survival skill. You can't just look around you and copy everything around you. Sometimes like it'll just be heartbreaking. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just gotta, all right, I'm here too. Like everything can't be wrong right now because I'm here. So am I gonna be wrong? And then you reach out to a couple siblings in your area. They trying to do something too. You trying to do something, and then you take it from there. So that's why I say everything is real from the center to the inner. Because sometimes people you just point the fingers all around, but you don't realize like you're real too, and you make reality. Like you're a creator. It's not just about keeping everything real. It's about making things real too. So that's how I got to that note. I was like everything real from the center to the inner. And then I just had to get on some lyrical because I was like, all right, I'm giving too much definitions. Like they got the point right there. That's why I was like, listening to me, even though they say the interview flow like a waterfall. Hold on, your inner too. You ain't an MC. If rhyming words is your limit, you ain't hip hop. If you ain't do it four principles,
right?
That's really my bar. Like every verse, I feel like I got a real bar that I like the most. That's really my bar. But I'm saying like hip hop isn't just rapping. That's basically what I was saying from that. I was saying like if just rhyming words is your limit, that's not hip hop. Hip hop is moving the crowd, master the ceremony, having the principles, peace, love, unity, and having fun in your mind, respecting the other elements of culture. MCing like Akko was saying, write graffiti, writing, breaking. You know what I mean? Like understanding where you have to decipher. These are the things that go into being an MC. If something breaks out at your show, you stop the show in some ways. You respond to the show. Like that's what an MC is. You the master of ceremony. You're not just someone who's in the place to be. So that's why I said you ain't hip hop if you ain't do it for principles. I'm saying if you don't do it for principles, whatever. But I'm also saying if you ain't do it for principles, there's four principles of hip hop: peace, love, unity, safety, having fun. Plus, you know what I mean?
And not only that, but the four principles of hip hop and culture itself: MCing, graffiti, breakdancing, DJing, the four elements, which are the principles that make up. So it's just kind of like you had a triple entendre there. You know what I'm saying? And it's just you talking about doing it for principles, but you're also talking about the four principles of peace, unity, and love, and the four elements of the principles of. Come on, man. Come on, now.
You know what I mean? I say you listening to me, even though they say the interview flow like a waterfall, flow up when you're into. You know what I'm picturing there? Like you ever seen like a movie with someone on the inner tube, but then by accident they hit the waterfall, and then before they realize they like, I'm like, yo, I'm about to flow on the inner tube. Like this is a different track. This is the first time of the track, so we about to go. Like my brother's coming with some guns. Like hold on, down, he's about to go. And all the way through, all the way to Yazzie, everybody had like a different style and a different angle. I started with the definition style. You know what I'm saying? All the way to Yazzie, breaking down almost like a scenic story style. Where he left you on the Delancey Street at the end of the story.
Shout out to Yazzie.
But it goes back to what Light was saying about we didn't sit down and say, oh, we gonna rap about this. We literally brought our own persona to the song without any sort of direction. It was just like, oh, wait, this is the name of the song. That's it. That's all we did. This name of the song, hear the beat, give me your 16, let's go. And that's all we did. And that's why when you listen to the song, you hear 5 different elements just going off. Like you get 5 different versions of SoundMinds within that one song. And there's literally like 20 different versions of SoundMinds within the camp. Within the camp, there's like 20, there might even be 30, 40, maybe 50 versions of SoundMinds in the camp itself.
Mathematically, yes.
When you think about all, we're literally like the underground Wu-Tang. You know, if you want to think about, we got the core and you got all the affiliates.
Like acolytes. You know, that's another group right there.
Right, yeah.
And
even in that, me and Light's verse are completely opposite spectrums. You know what I mean? Like even me and Light's verse are so completely opposite spectrums.
But you know what's ill with you and Lights before you go on?
We still compliment each other.
Yes, you went. I like the order because I didn't know how the order was gonna be. That's what people don't understand. We didn't say that. We didn't know how the order.
We didn't know the order, right?
So then when it came to the point and like, you know what I mean? Acolyte went right after Light. So it was like the
We need
acolyte camp was right in the track. That could be a
Yeah,
promo. So if you take out the front of the track and take out the end of the track, you can use that in the act like promo.
There you go. That's a track right there.
It swooped together so perfectly too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like you said, Echo, like, you know
Oh,
what I mean?
yeah.
And then Drake came in, so that was like this.
Come on, that's my brother, man. I had to throw the alley to call Malone. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be any different. You know what I'm saying? But then you keep on. The thing is, too, Kai, is that the way you finished was crazy too. Man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about that. The way you finished that verse was sick, man. Because you blacked out. Because after the hold on to your inner two, you ain't an MC or you rhyme with principles.
From words of your limit, you ain't hip hop if you ain't do it for principles.
Then you blacked out right after that. Please go into that. Because you went into a whole different zone.
Oh.
Yeah, you went into a pocket. I ain't gonna front you. Like you went from just being conscious and educated into straight bartending. Like like I said, I bartend. You went into bartending right after that line because you educated in the beginning, and then you said, okay, I gave you the education. Now here's what I can do.
It's so ugly. I think my brother forgot his verse. I think he blacked out and forgot that zone. That's when he started spitting real fast.
What part you? Alright, so you was at the part where I said, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm gonna have to say it in slow motion.
Yes, please.
I said, you like through the culture, but I'm killing you. Making sure you 10 toes down while I'm lifting you. And that's where it's more a lyrical thing, because it's like, what? Life killing you, this and that. But that's what I'm saying, like, it's competitive. Like, I'm killing you on this microphone. I'm not playing around with you. You know what I'm saying? But I'm giving you, like, you know what I mean? Like, you keep saying it's a positive competition. So I'm saying, I'm giving you life through the culture. Because the culture of hip hop's like, I'm gonna battle you, but you still gonna be alive after this battle. You're just gonna learn a little bit and sharpen your sword. You know what I mean? So I say, I'm giving you life through the culture while I'm killing you. That's what we do in hip hop.
Yeah, but that's what's scary about those two bars, right? Is the yin and yang in both of them. Giving you life while I'm killing you. Making sure you 10 toes down while uplifting you.
Uplifting you.
Right.
I'm not even gonna explain that. Like I'm gonna let like lyricists know that. You know what I mean? Like that's I couldn't even explain it. Like if you feel that, you feel that. Like it's deeper than it. It's deeper than rap. You know what I mean? Making sure you 10 toes down while I'm lifting you.
And then you took that and went crazier. You know what I'm saying? While we stealing you.
Instilling you with the truth within you. What if you shoulda knew? While wicked ones trick you, the figure they stolen was stealing you. Like that. It was a double entendre too in there where I said stealing you, like stealing you, but it's still in you.
It's still in you.
And basically what I'm saying is like I started the verse. I like to start where I ended. So like I like to end where I started. So I started with sound, with the definition of sound, sounding complete, sounding correct. I'm talking about this music. This is my music. Like this is my frequency music you're putting out. So at the end I say while wicked ones trick you, the figure they stolen was stealing you. A lot of music they try to put out or how they try to shape our culture is like to make you think you're worthless or your value's based on material or like you don't have something. You know what I mean? And that's what I want to leave on that note. Like the only evil that when they get you is when they get you out of your own mindset and make you believe you lost. That's why I didn't say like wicked ones steal you or wicked ones. I said they trick you to figure they stole what's stealing you. Because imagine you got a weapon in your hand. It's like the emperor's clothes in reverse. Like you got your weapon, you got your wealth, you got all these valuable things, and someone makes you think you're defenseless. You know what I mean? You don't have the money in your pocket. You don't have the armor on you. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we saying. Once you listen to this, it's like we reminding you what you got on you. You got some things on you, kid. Right. People better watch out. You know what I mean? But they will do that. You know what I mean? People will, and then you start giving your own self that negative self-talk where you actually think you're not capable of what you could do. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's why I said that. But it just had to be a lyrical. What making one shaking the figure they stolen was stealing you. Instilling you with the truth, with the truth. You know what I mean? And it's not even like I'm instilling you. Like instilling you means put inside you. You know what I mean? I'm instilling a thought of that it already is inside you. Like it's not me making you. You know what I'm saying? Just to clarify that. Like that's all. Like it's not coming from perspective of like SoundMinds, we're your father. Like it's SoundMinds like we're like a father figure or a brother, uncle should be. Which is, you know what I mean? Just letting you know like what you already have. Like don't look up to us. Just look to us for guidance when you need brothers. You know what I mean? Like you already got it. That's basically what that was.
Pup just came in, yo.
Okay, I'm trying to show this everybody right here.
You can get back to the virtual.
Right.
And you got the second verse too. That's
perfect time. Hell yeah. Man, shout out to everybody on here. Lucy always keep the phone live, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to my followers in the room right now. Yo, much love to y'all.
The thing I also want to say is the fact that the reason why you don't hear no ad-libs or you don't hear nothing on the track is because we wanted to really get that cypher feel. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the dope thing about it. Like I said, none of us were in the studio together while writing our verses. So it was just kind of like we really was all somewhere like, yo, this is gonna be a cypher feel. No ad-libs, no you know what I mean? And it was just kind of like, yo, everybody come with their own, and whoever got the best song got the best song. It just so happens all 5 songs are so strong.
I don't know if y'all realize this or y'all did this on purpose, but y'all do realize that this is a year to the date of our reunion show, right? Right?
Yep.
It's a year to the date of our reunion show.
Yep.
Reele PUP was good.
Yeah, hold on. You haven't heard it yet?
I think I got a delay.
If you haven't heard it yet, man, go listen to No Need, man. Streaming right now.
All platforms.
Everyone. You know what I mean? Go ahead, Pup, get into it, man. We just finished Khaiim's verse right now.
Peace, heartbeat. Listen, I just jumped in. I seen that Self was just finishing off his, and I'm like, whoa, I go next, hold up. So, yeah. I mean, like you said, it was a cipher. And when I jump into a cipher, first things first, man, your first line, your first few lines gotta be crazy.
Gotta hit.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta come hard. So I jumped in, I said, I've been pushed in the fire. I took a deep dive, shook hands with my demons, thankful to be alive. Cause I seen the other side, the ego I deprived. So only I could rise, man, this opened up my eyes.
Wait.
Get that to it. Explain that to the people.
Right there. I said flow like a waterfall, hold on your inner tube. Once I got from the definition to the lyrical part, right? When I said like my brothers is coming, what did I say? Flow like a waterfall, here we go down the thing. And he started first. I jumped in the fire. So you went from the waterfall and then you just went like, you came to water. fire. You understand me?
Yeah. We bring all elements like that, just like that, just like that. We elements. So yeah, man, I say I tapped into, yeah, I mean, when I say my name is Pup, everybody call me Pup, but my name stands for Pain United with Passion, right?
Right.
Pain United with Passion. So when I say my first lines, tap into that pain. And then you see how I deliver it, where it's gonna be with that passion. And when I say I've been pushed in the fire, I took a deep dive, going in deep within my own negative side, my negative traits. You feel me? My negative my bad habits. You heard? Having to reflect on negative experiences. You heard? Oh, hold up. Let me even take that. Let me even take a step to experience something that even might be negative, but I get an overall outcome out of it. Period.
Right.
Take it even further.
Completeness.
I said I shook hands with my demons, thankful to be alive, because I seen the other side. The ego I deprived. That's coming from my experiences of having a trip on shrooms. You know what I'm saying? being in another dimension.
They gotta hear your track with Cambada, like, for more reference on that, but you know,
yes,
that's about a whole extra dimension.
Tapping into the fifth dimension, you know, meditating, having like real full body experiences. You feel me? Where
hold on to get in it too.
you have to completely deplete yourself of pain and emotion, of heartbreak. Just get rid of that ego, cry that thing out. Thankful to be alive.
Thankful to be alive.
So at the end of the day, I closed it, obviously. That opened up my eyes. Because that opened up my eyes. I said, no more living to survive. I thrive. Just me and nature. If only we wasn't born in a world built around paper. If only we ain't born in a world stolen by haters. If only we could build a world.
Get to that later. Hold on. See right there. Now remember, going back to the first verse, I said from the virtual to the physical to the visible. Everything is real, right? From external to the inner too. Now mind you, again, we didn't know the order, but the way y'all put it together, Pup first naturally had to go after mine. Like from the water to the fire, but that part right there, from the virtual to the physical, because he said, and this is what I didn't. It's just like there's a lot of things. Every time I listen back, I hear new things. You know what I mean? So when I first heard it, I was like, oh, that's dope. Like, you talking about if you could be in a better world, you know, if I ruled the world type thing, you know what I mean? Imagine type thing. But then I realized this is my brother that's actually doing it. Like, he's the leader of the crew when it comes to NFTs, crypto world, virtual. So now when he said, if only we could do this, yeah, that would be dope. If only we could do that, yeah, that would be dope. Like, we trying to put our minds so positive. But then you listen back and you see what we're going to be doing with NFTs and everything. He said, if only we could build a world. Get to that later. So when he said, if only we could build a world, he wasn't saying like, oh, this is wishful thinking, like, father. He was saying, we gonna hit you with something later, like, you know what I mean, from the virtual to the physical. So I'm not gonna talk way too much of it. I'm just like, you know, when he said that, it was purpose. Like, we talked to the virtual to the physical. If only, maybe we have a world where we could control some of these aspects in this day and time with this access to technology. You know what I mean? So I just had to big up my homie on that because that was crazy. That was crazy. Get to that later. Like, we're gonna hit you with that.
And tap in with the fact that, you know what I'm saying, things is collapsing right before our eyes, and as we know it. So you know what I'm saying, our land is becoming ours very soon too. We don't know that too. We gotta always have that foresight. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, man, to even follow up with that, I said get to that later. I ain't coming out my bubble. Because all I'm seeing is zombies.
You got a track called Zombies, by the way. Because I'm tapping into this verse, I'm telling y'all.
I'm tapping into the track that I wrote called Zombies, where I'm talking about, you know, societal mind frame. You feel me? Where we walking around zombies for real.
Without the
and then that was way before what's happening among us right now, where, you know what I'm saying, you see what's happening. So I don't want to get offended off the IG, so I'm gonna definitely keep it PG form. But definitely tap into the lyrics of Zombies, because I ain't coming out my bubble, because all I'm seeing is zombies in the murder capital.
They call Hartford Homicide Hartford for people that don't know that. You know what I mean?
If you don't know, Hartford is nicknamed Homicide in the murder capital of Homies.
Hartford is the capital of Connecticut, for those that don't know.
I said, but seeing that that's all they know, they standing by me. Because when we stand up as a nation, we got an army. Come on. You feel me? You say, man, we got soldiers out there. They may have a mentality that's in the hood, but that hood mentality is also a soldier mentality. So shout out to my soldiers. Because when we stand up, like you see how our brothers is doing down in Atlanta, you know what I mean, with they marching and they activism, walking around like an army with their guns strapped up, legally. Everybody in it, everybody coming together, man, we got an army. And then I close with, I'm Ra, like the sun, giving frequency and sound, so high off the run, I ain't never coming down. I'm putting knowledge to your conscience just to open up your mind. I'm a true representative of building the sound minds. Let's get it. Sound minds.
That whole frequency line was so crazy. It was so crazy when I first heard it. It's the whole verse, honestly, out of the 5, I think your verse was more personal. I think your verse was very much more personal to the point of I'm speaking about everything in a glimpse of an eye and just giving you just a window shot of what you can see. You know what I mean? So which was crazy because then when you do speak,
mind you that I say I'm Ra, just a reminder that my other nickname is King Ra. King Ra.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? With and a Ra that I was born with because my birth name is Rashawn. R-A. Rashawn. I'm Ra, like the sun, the frequency and sound. So high off the runts, I ain't never coming down.
Which is crazy because it's kind of like you taking that 5th level trip. It's kind of like you wrote the verse on shrooms. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like,
you said off the runs. Right, THC, you know what I'm saying?
and, you know, and that gives you that superpower. It was like, damn, I can speak about that. I can speak about those trips. I can speak about, but I can speak about the now. I can speak about the physical. You know what I'm saying? So
it's about tapping in and finding balance with the metaphysical and the physical. You know what I mean? It's I have to put those type of bars into it because when I'm speaking from this mind here, I'm speaking from up here. I'm not looking out here, out there to write my bars. You heard?
Right.
That's to all of the lyricists out there. We don't look from out there to write the bars. And bars coming from in here. They're coming from download.
It's crazy download. Like when you put together Puff's verse connecting after my verse and then Light's verse coming after Puff's verse, you hear 3 very different voices. You hear 3 very different flows. And like the way I started mine, like a definition like sound means this, mine means this, we mean this. You know what I mean? It's like a discrete thing. Puff's voice to me, even though you're not singing on it, it almost comes through in controversy to how my flow. It's almost it gives it like a singing feel coming after my verse. You know, and I jumped in a 5, I take a G. So now you got like, you know what I'm saying? Like you got these different flows. You know what I mean? And then Light comes back in with a more still hit. You know what I mean? And then Drake comes in with that. So it's like you got a solid joint flow, solid flow. You know what I mean? It's like it's we're not looking at each other like, oh, we all gonna do this flow. This is the flow we're going in this song. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just pointing out that it works without us having to do that. Like you can have that different styles and work together. That's what I loved about this stuff.
And then on top of that, like Act was saying before, all we had was the track. No need. You know what I mean? So no need could have been anything. Nobody really, you know what I mean? No need for a hook. That's it. So that's why the title of the track, the art, we're gonna get into the art too.